She is a champion
of women in manufacturing.
She is passionate
about advancing technology and inspiring the next generation.
She is
the one and only Megan Zimba, and she's ready to host the Creators Lounge.
Welcome to the Creators Lounge, featuring FARO.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Megan Zimba, and we're here at IMTS 2024, and I'm sitting back with Brian Rasbach. I love your last name. It's so cool.
Well, thank you, Megan.
And yeah, you are from FARO as well. I just got done talking to your colleague, William. So first question, who is Brian, and what is your experience?
I am the Director of Sales for 3D Manufacturing in North America for FARO Technologies. I've spent the last 23 years of my career moving through different roles in the organization, and today I land in the job of Director of Sales.
Gotcha. So how did you enter into engineering manufacturing? Was it something that you were always interested in doing?
You know, it's a very simple story. My father was in the business. I got to grow up watching him be part of watching how the world is made. It intrigued me significantly, turned me into a mechanical engineer through college, and then I've applied those mindsets right to the manufacturing industry today.
So we're going to talk about 3D metrology. You guys corrected me on that because I kept saying scanning and measurement, but metrology is a lot better word for that, and I love it. How has that role, that specific technology really played a role in supply chain? Because when I think of supply chain, 3D metrology was not something top of mind. It wasn't a technology or a tool that I associated with it.
Sure. The word metrology in itself is something most people don't associate with at all. They think it's something to do with the weather. That's a little bit different pronunciation. But the art of measurement, the ability to verify and confirm what's manufactured to the intent of the design, is essentially what we do. From a supply chain standpoint, if you think about what it takes to make a final product, a vehicle, an airplane, there's hundreds of companies involved making a small component in that final assembly. So how do we interact is we use our technology for data collection at all the vendors that manufacture components, and that data can be moved up the supply chain for sign-offs and buy-offs and conformance to know that the person buying that part, it will fit in the assembly properly.
So you're not just focusing on one singular facility, though. You're focusing on all the facilities involved in the production of each component.
And that's the beauty of it, is that we don't have to be just in one location. The sharing of data, the usage of the cloud, the ability to take data and results and share them electronically and virtually with all those others involved is what makes this so exciting.
So there's a lot to unpack here. One is, how would it impact production lead times and costs then for someone to incorporate this?
Sure. So everything is intending to get faster. We're always trying to save money. If you go to the store today, things cost more money than they should. Our job is to reduce that cost, not necessarily inflation per se, but the ability, time to market. If it takes you a month to design a part today, and we can use technology and data to show root cause and corrective action or conformance quicker, we can take a month process down to a week. And so saving the corporation money, getting their products to market quicker, earning more market share because of it is really the core of how we improve supply chain.
So then what about with inventory management? How does it help with that?
Yeah, I'm not too sure the inventory management side is where we would fit per se, but we know what parts are in the bins that are conformed to be sent to an upward supply chain. So if it's going to the OEM, if it's going to an automotive manufacturer, they know what parts they have, they know how many they have, and the parts that they do have already been conformed to be properly for the size and the form are correct, so they know it'll function properly. But as far as managing the inventory, that's a different system altogether.
Well, in terms of compliance, can it guard against some compliance violations along the supply chain that we see?
Well, we certainly can, because compliance is all about, is it correct or not? And so if we say it's correct, people are going to depend on it being correct so that it moves into the next phase of the manufacturing or the assembly. If things stop the assembly process, it's usually because a part does not conform and it doesn't fit. So the fit and the function and the flushness of a door is off, which will stop a production line, and that causes big problems.
So one of the things that I think is still kind of fresh on everybody's mind, even though it happened in 2020, is the pandemic. It really kind of screwed up our supply chain and how things moved and how we were able to receive things. How does this type of technology really set up your customers to be more resilient against disruptions like that and unpredictable
Sure.
things?
The biggest thing that we've experienced as an organization is the fact that we realized that if we had a limited supply chain or a limited vendor for a particular component that we need as an organization, and that company is disrupted, we can't make parts. So the opportunity to set up new vendors, new suppliers very rapidly based on data that we can share virtually back and forth between the vendor and our company allows us to broaden whom we can get our information from and our parts from, which allows us to get to our market quicker.
That's really cool. So we're going to dive into a little bit more of how this specific technology compares to traditional ways of measuring things, but we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, so don't go away.
Additive manufacturing has grown from a niche prototype building process to a production-ready technology enabling new opportunities. It's a manufacturing tool that no one should be without. Building on its annual flagship event in Frankfurt, Germany, Formnext is bringing the most comprehensive, best-in-class additive manufacturing trade show to the United States at Formnext Chicago in 2025.
In my opinion, Formnext is the most important additive show in the world. We go to Formnext in order to find new products to offer to our customers and to get a good pulse of how the industry is doing.
You'll find buyers and sellers there. You're finding and talking to people that are looking for additive manufacturing solutions. And it's everywhere from people who have never worked with additive before to people who have been in working with the technology for a long time and looking kind of for the latest and greatest.
Formnext, the entire ecosystem of industrial additive manufacturing in one place. Join us for the inaugural Formnext Chicago in 2025. Discover more at formnextchicago.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm still sitting here with Brian Rasbach. I love your name. I'm going to say it all the time. And we're talking about 3D metrology, and you just got done talking about how this can really help guard against violations in supply chain compliance. But now I want to talk about traditional methods that were used to measure for accuracy and efficiency. How does this type of technology compare to that?
Sure. So there's a large answer that we could go into here, but to shorten it up, if you think about early traditional methods, which were more manual, using a ruler, a tape measure, advancing a step further to micrometers and calipers and height gauges, the majority of these systems were a value that was created that you had to jot down with a piece of paper. Transcribing from one person to another, interpreting their handwriting can cause problems.
Nightmare.
As you fast forward to today, all the technology, including everything at FARO, everything's digital. So you cannot fake a result. It is what it is. The machine tells you the truth, and it creates that truth in a form of an output that can then be used and shared throughout an organization. So very rapid, very quick, and very reliable.
Are you taking any of the... So when you're incorporating some of this into their systems, are you taking any data that they might have collected before using this type of technology?
There are always complementary technologies out there, so there's no one tool in a toolbox that solves all problems. So yes, there are manual methods that are taken today where you may not have a digital output, but we can input that value in our software or softwares that exist to incorporate it in the overall digital output as well. So yes, you can bring everything together into one output to make it easy for everybody else creating the corrective actions to define how do we continue to move forward.
So one of the questions that I asked our colleague, Will, is, what are some of the hesitations of people adapting some of these measurement tools and technologies? Do you think there's a lot of manufacturers who have adopted this kind of technology, or is there still a gap there?
I think that most manufacturers in today's market have to remain competitive. In order to remain competitive, you have to quickly produce parts, you have to produce them at a low cost to your organization, and you have to continually expand whom you serve. In order to achieve those expansion plans, you have to bring new technology in-house in a form of a new machine tool, a faster speed rate, a better way to first article your components that you manufacture. Most companies have some level of quality control or metrology institutional devices in their company, but not all of them are taking advantage of the efficiencies gained today.
Right.
And our job is to educate and nurture that into those companies that are maybe 5 or 10 years behind per se of what they've purchased, to overcome the concern of, can I learn it? Is it accurate enough? Is it reliable enough? Will I be supported? And those are questions that we answer every day.
How is the reaction once they learn your system? Like what?
They're happy, they're thrilled. The most fulfilling component we can get is a company's referral. A year down the road, when we supply a solution, all we ask for is your ability to tell us the truth behind your efficiency gain in a year from now. It is the most widely accepted form of flattery when someone tells another colleague or a coworker how successful they become because of a proper implementation.
You're solving their challenges, and that's
Every day.
That's a big thing. Well, we got one more commercial break, and then when we get back, we're going to start talking about what we can look ahead to and some of the trends that you see.
That sounds great, Megan.
You are watching The Creators Lounge. Gain insights as our hosts talk to expert guests about key industry topics. Come see the action live on the trade show floor. Visit booth 338 600. See you at The Creators Lounge.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Megan Zimba. We're here at the Creators Lounge IMTS 2024, and I'm still chatting it up with Brian. Hello, Brian. How are you doing?
Welcome back.
Great. This is going by super fast.
Always does.
I don't like that because I really love learning about all of the technologies that are out there. So we left off with, if you thought some companies were hesitating to adopt this type of technology. And now I really want to get into, how do you see companies using this to manage their supply chain now? Mm-hmm. And then what trends do you see emerging? So maybe you can give us a specific example that FARO has worked with in integrating this technology with a company.
Yeah, that sounds great. It comes to mind immediately, just a very recent and active project today. A large aerospace company called on FARO to improve how they finalize the paint process of their aircraft. There were problems where the manual individuals who were painting the aircraft would be in cherry pickers and they would hit or bump or damage the different portions of the aircraft. So we have a technology, the FARO Focus Scanner, and we have an automation process where we can combine multiple scanners for multiple locations to collect specific data to incorporate the entire aircraft, take that point cloud, move it up into a software, which then creates a boundary for all the cherry pickers and the machines that are manually bringing these employees to do apply their paint. Mm-hmm. And anytime they get too close to the boundary of the aircraft, they physically stop. They were having problems damaging aircraft, and through our technology and through our software, we were able to create a situation where they can no longer damage the aircraft at all. Very simple process, but very in-depth on how we accomplished it.
Well, I don't think people understand the pure cost of damaging something and then having to redo it. So do you have any statistics on the cost that companies are saving using this type of technology?
For the application that I just shared with you, I can say it in maybe a different way. Today, it now takes 10 days from start to finish, from the first scan of our systems to the final part of the airplane moving out of the hangar, completely painted. In the past, it was almost a month because of the damage and the downtime created between the process. So when you take 30 days into 10 days, that's a tremendous savings for the organization.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we got to talk about the future because IMTS is all about exhibiting the latest and the greatest and what we can look forward to in the future. So what are some of the things that we can look forward to this type of technology that FARO is working on? Or what are some of the emerging trends that you're most excited about?
Sure. I'm excited about what is unknown. The future of what happens is mainly due to customers who ask us to solve problems that don't exist today. Mm-hmm. So when we're faced with a challenge of a product today may not exist, but in a new package, in a new format, with a combination of a new software package, we can create a new solution from existing components today, just repackaged. So the idea is to understand and listen to a customer, understand their end result and need, and we look back to our technology and our engineers and our people within the company to develop that solution that is a combination of existing components today. It's just repackaging into a new format.
It's got to definitely keep you on your toes because things are just advancing so fast, and you got to think of different ways to solve different problems. It could be the same problem that happened 10 years ago. You never know, but that's the great thing about engineering. Is there anything else that you would like anybody out there to know about FARO and some of the things that you're working with on the 3D metrology side of things?
We think fast, we move quickly, we have a tremendous interest in understanding and implementing solutions for our customer base. The biggest flattery we can receive, again, is their reference and their referral to others, which are opening more doors for FARO. So our people are the real differentiator at FARO Technologies. There's a lot of solutions out there that collect data, there's a lot of software that can analyze data. The differentiator between what we are at FARO Technologies and what I believe the rest of the metrology world is truly the passion behind the people that wear this FARO badge are unlike anybody I've ever worked with in my 23 years. I couldn't be more proud.
Well, I mean, you must be doing something right, because if you've been there for 23 years, that's got to mean that the company is a great company to work for.
Very proud of the company. It bleeds through my blood a little bit, and when I do get cut, it's a little bit of blue that comes out.
Well, that sounds like an Avatar thing, like from the movie Avatar. Well, Brian, I want to thank you so much for joining us here in the Creators Lounge at IMTS. I know it's a busy week for everyone, so I'm super excited. If anyone's here tuning in, please be sure to stop by the FARO booth. Thank you so much, Brian.
I've enjoyed it, Megan. Thank you.